thank you for sharing how people can identify that. And are there some things that business owners can do? Maybe there's some benchmarks or something. Like, is there something people can look at? I know there is financially, and I teach about that, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about what are some things somebody can do today when they're listening, get off this call or this podcast, and even just look at it and say, this isn't working, other than the high turnover. I guess that's probably enough, isn't it? Or is there and there are there things they can do to take it to the next level without spending any money?
So we usually counsel business owners to look at whatever metrics that they use, because each business has different metrics that they use to say whether they're being successful or not.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, KPIs, OKRs, the acronym soup of business lingo,
Yeah.
whatever their metrics are, taking a self-reflection and saying, is this really as good as we could be? Um, I just had a very insightful conversation with a COO of a fairly large company. And he revealed that when they set out their corporate goals,
Yeah.
they expect to only hit about 80% of those. Now, the first question is, well, why would you ever do that? Because they say that they want to do these stretch goals, knowing that they'll probably meet about 80% of them.
Yeah.
But the underlying problem is that, except for the salespeople who are on a separate incentivization program, the rest of the company gets their bonus based on how the company performs. Well, if you are only expecting to hit 80% of those, and that's not communicated to the people,
Mm-hmm.
every year they're only going to get 80% or less of their corporate bonus, which is a huge dissatisfier. Then you start pointing fingers at each other who didn't meet their goals. And why did they not meet their goals? And why didn't we know this sooner? Why wasn't something done?
Mm-hmm.
So a big part of it is being transparent in what you're expecting your people to achieve, and being transparent about the process and how you're tracking on those. And that's why we also have this goal attainment software where you take your business priorities, and each team, each individual then has their underlying goals and milestones that they're expected to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of waiting for a monthly update or however often businesses do their inspection, in real time how everyone is tracking against their goals and if you're going to meet those targets or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That also keeps the accountability high,
Uh,
because there's such visibility about who's working on what and how they're achieving. You also spend less time doing the how are we doing on that? Are we on time? And the yes, we are, and no, we're not. You can just see in the Pocket Coach in your app that you are or are not tracking. Now you can spend the time talking about what are the obstacles? Do you need more resources? How do we overcome this challenge so that we stay on track? That's a much more productive and healthier conversation than
yeah.
the surprise at the end that we're not going to meet our goals.
Yeah, yeah. I think back to many meetings where it's, there's a lot of that. It's like, okay, how's this at? What's this at? Instead of coming up solutions, we're just talking about, we're just reacting, right? And that would be a very valuable to have. So that's
And when goals are lagging, you want to fill the airtime with all the things that went well, because you don't want to have that conversation. So you suck the time away talking about, but we did do this and we did do this, and then, oh, the meeting's out of time. By the way, we're not going to meet that goal by.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that would happen all the time. Or, you have this thing you're ready to present and then you run out of time. And yeah, and then the phones go. All the phones are dinging and the text messages, and oh my God, it's just an awful thing.
Yes.
But that's a whole other conversation. Okay, so that's good. So it's a process, and that's the hard part, and for anybody to wrap their head around.